Okay, good afternoon to all the participants. Respected Sunil sir, I, Professor Avinash Vilankivar, welcome you all for the last day of this 3 days online STTP on recent trends in the electrical power system. Today we have a very eminent speaker with us, Mr. Sunil Mahaval sir. So I request Akshay Pillawan sir to please give a brief introduction of Sunil sir. Akshay sir.
Okay. Good afternoon to everyone present here. Myself, Professor Akshay Pillawan, Department of Electrical Engineering, JNIT, Nagpur. Thank you, Avinash sir, for giving me opportunity to introduce Mr. Sunil Mahabar sir. He started his career as an apprentice in 1977 with Kirloskar Pneumatic, Hadapsar, Pune. After doing diploma in electrical engineering in 1977. In 1982, he joined Gajra Gears Devas in Madhya Pradesh. After he joined Mahindra and Mahindra Nagpur in 1985 as maintenance engineer and retired on 1st April 2019 as a deputy manager of Central Engineering Service. After retired, he started his consultancy service by the name of SM Consultant, where he offered consultancy in the area of energy saving, best maintenance practice, and TPM preparedness. Now, I would like to Mr. Sunil Mahava sir to kindly take over the session and guide us. Thank you.
Okay, Akshay sir, thank you. Okay, now we hand over the session to respected Sunil sir, and I request Sunil sir to please enlighten all of us with the topic power receipt and the distribution in the industry and the analysis of the problems. Sunil sir, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. So I will be starting the session now. It is on power receipt and distribution in industry and analysis of problems. And in addition to that, I will be also sharing 3 case studies, real life case studies which I have faced and could solve it. So that your concepts are clear that how the problems, what nature problems come in industry and how to resolve it. Okay. So to start with, this is the circuit diagram for 33 kV transformer. Then legend on drawings. So you can see the legends here. Then this drought type vacuum circuit breaker, then transformer, then potential transformer, current transformer, isolator, cable connection, lightning arrestor. Then these relays, different types of relays, which I will be elaborating after few slides. Then 11 kV RMU also we have installed. So it
Hello,
has two
Sunil sir.
isolate. Yes.
Hello, Sunil sir. I
Yes.
am really sorry to interrupt. Sunil
Ah,
sir, please
ah,
can you hold the mic slightly near to your mouth, please? Your voice is low.
okay. Now, is
Yes,
it
sir. Now
okay?
it is clear. Yes, sir. It is now
Okay.
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 Please
Okay.
continue, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So in addition to that, this is 11 kV RMU with 2 isolators and 1 VCB. So this is how the circuit looks. It may not be very clear to you on your screen, but for that purpose, I have tagged it also. So this is 33 kV line. Then we receive the power through a ACSR conductor. I hope everybody knows it. What is ACSR? So it is aluminum conductor steel reinforced. Okay. So through these wires we receive the supply. Then there is GOD, gang operated device. So through GOD then it finally goes to the primary of the transformers. Okay. Then there is a main circuit breaker which can trip the 33 kV supply. This is how it looks. And if you see the nameplate in detail, then here it is operating at 1250 ampere, 12 kilovolt. And if you notice here, the short circuit breaking current is 26.3 kiloampere, whereas short circuit making current is 66 kiloampere. So why there is a difference? And it is almost 3 times. So the reason is that when the healthy circuit is working, and the normal current, healthy current is flowing through the circuit and circuit breaker. And then when a fault occurs in between, then the current will gradually increase and it will reach to that maximum level. But during that path, we can break it. That is the breaking capacity of the circuit breaker. Whereas the making current, when this fault is already existing in the field, there is a face-to-face short or face-to-earth short, and we are trying to put on the ACB or VCB, then the huge current will immediately flow through the contacts. That is the reason why making current is 66 kiloampere and breaking current is just 26.3 ampere. Okay. Then how come the steel is used inside the ACSR conductor? The reason is obvious that it is because of the skin effect, that the alternating current has a tendency to distribute the conductor such that the current density largest near the surface only. There is no current at the core, and therefore the steel wires, which are not very good conductor as compared to aluminum, they can be used inside the aluminum conductor to give the mechanical strength to the wire. So the main purpose of steel wires are to give mechanical strength to the aluminum conductor. So it is because of skin effect. Then, and the skin effect is observed only in AC. It is not observed in DC. So it is applicable to only AC. So these are the transformers 33 kV to 11 kV. On this secondary side, the voltage is 11 kV. The reason is that earlier our factory was fed with 11 kV supply from MSCB. So therefore, the entire circuit was of 11 kV. The distribution was of 11 kV. But once we had to, our contract demand increased because of the increase in the this connected load. Then MSCB told us that now you have to upgrade your incoming voltage and you have to go to 33 kV. So we had to install these two transformers and we kept the distribution as it is at 11 kV. So now these two transformers convert 33 to 11, and then 11 as it was earlier, it will be distributed through 11 kV. Then it will reach to, the 11 kV will reach to respective transformers for various departments. Okay. So then this is CTPT, current transformer and potential transformer. Then these are the two, this is the panel you are seeing, that the 11 kV supply is going to different departments. In this slide, you can see that there are various departments. You can see my pointer. Now this particular transformer, 11 kV to 440, delta star, it is going to engine department, 2000 kVA. Then hydraulic, this is the another department. There also this is delta star and 1000 kVA. Then this is for transmission. Then this is for weld shop. This is for PTCD. These are the different departments which are fed through 11 kV. And you can also see, so this is the bus bar through which the distribution happens. And you can also see the transformer, the picture of a transformer, 11 kV to 440. And here you can also see the generators, which are given for standby, as standby. Whenever MSCB supply will not be there, these generators will work as standby supply. Okay. Then the main transformer, industrial transformer details. So these are the 11 kV by 440 transformers, delta star. And here you can see in the picture, the conservator tank, then oil level, Buchholz relay. This all you can see, the breather core. So here, this is the breather from where the air enters, and to trap the moisture in the air, this breather has silica gel or CuSO4. So this is how it looks when it is fresh. But once it absorbs the moisture, then it changes its color, and then you have to replace it with a new one. Now this is how the conservator looks from inside. This the oil is inside the conservator, in drain wall, main tank wall, breather pipe. So this pipe is connected here. It is actually taken from the top of the tank. So then this is MOG, magnetic oil gauge. Why this magnetic type of oil gauge is used? So that the flange of this conservator need not be punctured. Otherwise, you will have to puncture it, and then there will be a possibility of oil leakage. So to avoid that, this is magnetic type oil gauge. So it works like this, that this part is inside the tank, then there is tank in between, the flange of the tank, and this is outside the tank. So when this magnetic portion will rotate with the float, it will rotate this uh, outer plate. And this is shown here on the minimum maximum. So oil level can be seen from outside. And this is the MOG. So it has contacts also which can be used for tripping the transformer circuit. Okay. Then this is how the testing and protection is done. You must be knowing it that these are 36 mm dia balls are there, and this distance between them is 2.5 mm. And then with the help of a dim, the voltage applied across these two balls is increased. If it is a 11 kV transformer, then it will be increased beyond that. And it will be seen at what voltage it trips or it creates the spark. And that voltage will decide how much is the dielectric strength of that oil. So this is how the testing is done. And it is done before monsoon and after monsoon. Before monsoon, because if the oil is already bad in dielectric strength, then during monsoon it will further deteriorate, and it may create problem for the working of the transformer. Therefore, it is done pre-monsoon, and post-monsoon it is once again done that during monsoon, if the moisture has gone inside the oil, then it is better to check it so that for the rest of the year, the transformer will work without any problem. Then on the right side, you can see the Buchholz relay, and there are mercury switches inside it. So mercury switches, they work on the gravity principle, and this is how it works. On the top, you can see that mercury switch is there. There are two probes, and there is mercury here. So the mercury is actually sorting the two probes. So there is short in between these two probes. So it is a NC contact, normally closed contact. But when the oil level goes down, then the mercury tube carrying mercury will tilt because of gravity, because it is hinged at eccentric. It is not in the center, it is eccentric. So it will tilt, and then the probes will open. That is how the mercury switch works. And this mercury switch is in use in ample applications are there for this mercury switch in machine control also. So this is how it works. And this is the protection given to transformer. These are the various protections. You might not be able to read it. You may not be able to read it. So I have provided the tags here. That this is the Buchholz alarm and trip. It will give you alarm as well as it will give you trip signal also. If you side, then the upper mercury, the mercury switch which is on the top, is for alarm circuit. And the mercury switch, it is immersed into the oil. It is for trip circuit. So there are two distinct mercury switches meant for alarm and trip circuit. So this is how it is here. The Buchholz alarm as well as trip circuit. Then oil temperature, alarm as well as trip. So it will first give you alarm, and if you don't act on that alarm, then it will trip the transformer, the incoming of the transformer. Then there is winding temperature trip and winding temperature alarm. Both are there. Then oil surge trip. Why this oil surge relay trip? Why it is provided? Because it is provided between the online tap changer OLTC and the transformer. Because if during online tap changing, there is a possibility of huge spark, and that spark may convert into the mechanical energy. It will give mechanical energy, and the oil may surge into the tank. So if it surges beyond some level, then this OSR will trip, and it will trip the. So there is no OSR alarm. There is only OSR trip. So if OSR operates, then it is not good, not healthy for the transformer. So that is how it is, and it safeguards the OLTC also if it trips. Then there is MOG alarm. The MOG which we have seen, magnetic oil gauge, the inside part is the float, and the outside part is non-magnetic, but iron part is there. It is moving because of the magnet inside. So that relay will trip this MOG. And these four relays, different relays are there, alarm, trip. If any one of them trips, then finally it will, all these relays will trip a tripping relay. And this will ultimately put off the 33 kV VCB. It will ultimately trip the 33 kV VCB. Then there is IDMT, overcurrent, and earth fault relay. This is for the distribution which is there in the plant. So if any cable develops any fault, earth to neutral, phase to phase, then it can sense and trip. Now this IDMT, the full form of it is inverse definite minimum time relay, IDMT relay. So the timing and the amperage passing through that relay, sensed by that relay, is inversely proportional. As the current passing through that relay increases, the time required to trip the circuit reduces. Therefore, it is inverse time. So the increase in current is inversely proportional to the sensing time of the IDMT. And another one is DTOC, definite time over current relay. So it will trip. It will take the same time irrespective of the rise in current. So if you set it at particular amperage, then it will sense it and trip it in the same timing. So even if the break fault current is more, it will take the same time. So it is definite time over current relay, IDMT. Then it goes to LT distribution to equipment. So through these MCBs and these are there. So the miniature circuit breaker works. There is a bimetallic bimetallic strip is there, which actually trips thermal protection bimetal. Here you can see thermal protection bimetal. It is here. This is this which is bimetallic. Now this bimetallic, when it is heated, this is how it behaves. Bimetallic. This is how it behaves. That in this particular case, if there are two different metals and if they are riveted together, then the heat is provided to them. It will result into bending. Why it results into bending? It is because of the coefficient of linear thermal expansion. In this case, there are two metals, brass and steel. So if you look at the table below, then brass has the coefficient linear thermal expansion of 18.9 and iron has it 11.7. So iron will expand less than brass. So that condition can be fulfilled only if it bends. So that brass expands more and steel expands less. Then it bends. If it becomes cold, if it goes below room temperature, then it will bend in other direction. So this is how the bending happens of a bimetallic heating. If a bimetallic strip is heated, then SF6 sulfur hexafluoride is widely used in industry. So it is safe at the same time it is very reliable. So sulfur hexafluoride switches are used, circuit breakers. This is how it works. You can see in the middle, this is the actually arc contact. And this is the main contact, the blue one, the outer side. This is actually the moving contact. And this is the black one is the moving contact. And the main contact is blue one. So this is fixed contact, blue, and the black one is moving contact. So if you try to open it, then first the main contact will open. First the main contact will open when if it comes back, and then the sparking arcing contact is still in connection. It is connected. And then if you move it further, then the arcing contact will get disconnected here, and there will be a spark will be increased by this. This is how it works. So it is used extensively at 220 kilovolt, 400 kilovolt, 765 kilovolt. The gas pressure maintained is 6.5 bar of the sulfur hexafluoride. This is how it works. And finally, the supply reaches machines 440 volt. This finally reaches machines through the again through the circuit breaker isolators because there is an isolating transformer in every machine which isolates the control circuit from the mains. So there is
Hello.
no connection in between the main
Sunil sir?
supply and control circuit. Hello.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
बोला.
येस, थोडा आवाज
Still it
ब्रेक
is
होतोय
breaking?
सर तुमचा. येस येस येस, थोडा आवाज ब्रेक होतोय.
Okay. बरं.
हा,
थोडं
थोडा
समोर.
बहुतेक थोडा कनेक्टिव्हिटी इश्यू येतोय बहुतेक मला असं वाटतं तुमच्या साईडला. फ्रॉम माय साईड इट इज ओके.
कनेक्टिव्हिटीचा तर काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. कनेक्टिव्हिटी आहे 4G आहे पूर्ण.
ओके, नाउ इट इज क्लिअर सर.
कालचं
प्लीज
जे
कंटिन्यू.
लोकेशन होतं तिथेच बसलोय मी.
ओके सर, प्लीज कंटिन्यू. आता
So finally it okay. Okay. So finally it is to the machine where there is a isolating transformer inside which isolates the control circuit of the machine from the mains. So there is no direct linkage of main supply to control circuit. That is how it is done. So this is how the operator panels is there, and there is a main disconnect switch for the machine. So now 3 real life case studies, which I will talk about. So I have worked first in Kirloskar Pneumatic Pune. So there I worked from 1977 to 1982. I started my career as an apprentice. I worked there for 5.25 years. Then I joined Gazra Gear Devas November 1982 to February 1985. And finally I joined Mahindra and Mahindra Nagpur on 1st March 1985. That is, and there I worked for 34 years. So on 1st April 2019, I retired from my service as a Deputy General Manager of Central Engineering Services. Okay. So first I will share with you one case study which happened when I was in Kirloskar Pneumatic. So this is, the location was Mishra Dhatu Nigam, Hyderabad. The case study is of 1980. At that time, I was deputed at Midhani, that is Mishra Dhatu Nigam, to resolve compressor tripping problem. So there was a annunciator on that compressor. So I asked them, what is the problem with the compressor trips? What exactly happens? So they were not able to tell कि कब रुकता है. वो बोलते कभी भी चलते समय कभी भी रुक जाता है. So we don't know why it happens. And then we also don't get any fault because it restarts when we reset it and start it. So then I decided कि I will wait and watch what exactly happens and let it trip in front of me. But it was not tripping. Then when I went for lunch, at that time it tripped. So then I decided that I will sit here only. You provide me tea, coffee, everything in this place only. I will not leave this area. And then once it tripped in front of me. And the reason I got was the annunciator was showing single phasing. Then the reason was known that it is tripping because of single phasing. But there was no obvious single phasing. I hope that you everybody know what is single phasing. Single phasing happens when a three-phase motor receives only two phases. So it is a common thing that happens when one single fuse blows, and it can be because of various reasons. If the moving contacts of the contactor are not good, then also it can happen. So it happened that the single phasing it is tripping, and there was no obvious reason when I checked with multimeter. Then when I underwent a training with Larsen and Toubro on the switches. So at that time, I learned one new concept, and that was about the voltage drop. That if you want to evaluate a electrical joint, then it can be evaluated with the help of voltage drop. So if the joint is not proper, then you will get voltage drop. Now, how I have done it, that I will share with you. Sharing not how it was done, but just to give the concept what I did and how I did. There is one overload connected to the bus bar. This is RYB. If there is a lug and then cable is there, it goes through the overload relay. There it reaches the contactor. So if it is a star delta motor, then there will be three contactors. If it is a slip ring motor, then there will be only one contactor. So that is how the contactors will matter. But you just understand how the concept is and what it is done, how it is done. Sorry. So if this is a motor, this cable is reaching to finally to motor. So now how I checked it, that with the multimeter, this suppose we take this blue phase, then from contactor it reaches to motor. So is there any voltage drop in this wire? Same phase. I am not talking about different phase. It is the same phase reaching to motor. So is there any voltage drop in this connection? No. Then is there any voltage drop across the contactor? Because this moving cord contact, because of sparking and all, this might have become bad and it might have developed the carbon. So that also can be the reason of bad contact. So is there any voltage drop here? So there also I could not get the voltage drop. Then I checked it whether the voltage drop is across the same phase of the overload relay. And this I have done in all the three phases. I have demonstrated here only single phase, but I did it for RYB. And then finally I went to bus bar and the, sorry, finally I reached to bus bar and lug of the cable. So there I got the voltage drop. So it was actually, I never expected that the voltage drop will happen there. I thought that it will be in the contacts of the contactor. But I got the voltage drop, substantial voltage drop in the lug and the bus bar. Then I decided that I want to stop the compressor and check something. So they said that compressor cannot be stopped just like that because it will result into stoppage of the entire factory. So you will have to come in the evening when there is no work. Then only you can do this. So I told that okay, no problem. I will come in the evening. So only security guards, few maintenance people, and I was there. So we took the trial. I first removed this lug, and then what I found that if this is a aluminum lug and if it is tightened on a copper bus bar, then the washer which is used, which ultimately comes into contact with aluminum as well as brass or copper, sorry. So aluminum as well as copper, the washer should have been bimetallic washer. That is the standard practice. But the washer, the person who might have done this connection, who might have done this joint, he might not be aware of this bimetallic washer. And he used just a common aluminum washer. So over a period, the aluminum will react with the copper. There will be a chemical reaction between the aluminum and copper. And even though you have tightened it, suppose say 2 months ago or 3 months ago, then the joint can loosen on its own because of the chemical reaction. That was the new learning for me, that this can also happen. That the lug, if it is not of the same metal, then the chemical reaction can corrosion can result into loose contact. And once we tightened that and we provided the bimetallic washer, we had to buy it from market. Then we replace all the washers on that bus bar, and then we finally fitted, and thereafter the motor never tripped. So this small voltage drop which was occurring because of this lug and bus bar connection, it was resulting into single phasing, which actually should trip when there is absence of one phase. But this is not absence of one phase. This is just reduction in voltage of one phase. But even that was sensed by the single phasing relay as a absence of one phase. Therefore, it tripped. So this is how the problem was solved. Now the second one, which was at Gazragiya, which is in MP, Madhya Pradesh. So it happened in 1982, November 1982 to February 1985. I worked there, and this particular problem was in a gear grinding machine. It was Matrix. The company of that machine was Matrix, England. It was from England. And the problem reported by the operating side was control fuse blowing problem reported. So the control fuse used to blow. And then if you replace the fuse, once again machine will start running and nothing will happen. Then sometime during the day or night, then it will trip of the fuse will blow again. So the maintenance crew was also in the problem that what is this problem which comes sometimes and it doesn't appear another times. What can be this problem? So then we studied it and we found that there are many conduits which are carrying control wires inside them. And these conduits have a metal wire also. And then there is the rest of the thing is plastic, but it has a metal wire also. So there will be 30 to 25 to 30 wires inside one hose or one flexible conduit. And you can see the condition. This is not the picture of that machine, but I am just sharing that in a working machine, how the condition of the flexible conduit you can see here. Then somebody can stumble on it, somebody can put his leg on it, somebody can put some material here. So there is a possibility that the wires inside, there is a bunch of wire going into this flexible conduit, and then it is going to machine. So also is here. So there will be bunch of wires and some wire was getting short. Now if you put together all the control wires, then there will be around 100 to 125 wires will be going from panel to machine, and they will be going from different conduits, flexible conduits. So it was a big problem that how to identify that single wire which gets shortened with our some time. That also it is not happening always. So the method which I adopted is actually not very technical, but still it worked. What I did, that okay, the problem, the wire is shortening, it is blowing the fuse, and then nothing happens. If you replace the fuse, machine starts running. So I was wondering what must be the reason. So then what I did, that I took the permission from the production department that I want your operator to run the machine and we will be circling the machine. जैसे वो विलन को पिक्चर में चारों तरफ से घेर लेते हैं ना वैसा. So the entire maintenance team was around the machine, and I allotted the job to every single person that you will look at only this conduit. nothing else. You will not see anything else. You will see only at this conduit and the opening of the conduit in the panel. So one person was sitting, keeping the panel open and observing at the openings of the conduit, and other fellows were standing in front of the conduits, different conduits. Then what I did was the non-technical work. What I did was the fuse was blowing and so what I did, I
Hello, Sunil sir. Hello, Sunil sir. Sorry to interrupt. Your voice is again breaking. Hello, Sunil sir. Can you please switch off your video? That might help in good streaming. तुमचा व्हिडिओ ऑफ करा सर. फक्त व्हिडिओ ऑफ करा.
व्हिडिओ कसा ऑफ होतो? वीडियो ओके, वीडियो ऑफ है, माइक ऑन है, ठीक है ना?
Yes, 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 yes. Now it is okay, sir. Now it is okay. You can please continue.
ओके. Share screen.
Sir, it is already shared. We can see your screen. You can directly go to presentation, sir.
Okay. So this is how so I have made everybody to stand in front of one host. I allotted one host to everybody, and all the electricians, engineers, we were standing from electrical department. And then I replaced the fuse wire with a copper wire, which will never blow. It will burn out that wire, but it will never blow. So then ultimately, and I instructed everybody that who smoke first will shout. Then we from which this was coming, and then we removed all the 25
Hello, Sunil sir. Hello. Hello. Sir, sorry to say your voice is again breaking, sir. I don't know what is the problem.
कशामुळे व्हॉइस ब्रेक होतोय?
सर आप माहिती नाही, लक्षात येत नाही काय प्रॉब्लेम. हा, तुम्ही आता जे काही जे पॉइंट्स घेतले असतील ते पॉइंट प्लीज थोडं रिपीट करा सर, थोडं पुन्हा एकदा.
So the non-technical thing which I have done here is I replaced the fuse which was having a fuse wire. I replaced it with a copper wire. It will never blow. It will burn fire, but it will not blow itself. So with that, then I asked everybody to concentrate on the conduits. I allotted one conduit to everyone, and I instructed that whosoever sees smoke first will shout, and we will put off the machine so that the damage is minimum. So one person shouted कि मेरे को यहाँ से धुआं निकलते हुए देखा. Then we disconnected all the 20-25 going conduit and then removed the conduit, and then once again started the machine with the same fuse. So then we saw the smoke coming from one wire. It had blackened already, and then we replaced that wire, and by the side of that wire it has damaged 2 more wires. So those also we replaced. We put on flexible conduit, and so at times even though the it is non-technical, you can say, but the logic works. It should work, and you should reach to the root cause. That is important. So this is how I reached to the root cause of the problem, the wire which was getting shortened with the conduit, and there are around 100 to 125 wires. Which is okay. Then the last one, which happened in Mahindra and Mahindra. I worked there from 1985 to 2019. So this was one transmission assembly plant. You can see in the picture, transmission assembly plant. This was the transformer 11 kV by 440 dedicated to this plant. Then this is vehicle parking. This is the road. This is the service road inside the factory. And then there is a 33 by 11 kV main substation. And from here, one cable was laid. This distance was around 450 meters. It was 450 meters away from the substation. And a cable was laid few years ago to connect to RMU, which recently we added. When the 33 kV came, we added RMU also, ring main unit. Other the and working on different cable. And then we connected this, which was laid around 2 years ago. Okay. And then as soon as we charged it with 11 kV, the immediately circuit tripped and it tripped everything. There was a dead short circuit somewhere. And now somewhere in 450 meters, how to find out that where it has shortened and what is the fault? Because the work RMU installation did on Sunday when the factory is closed. So we worked throughout the day, and when in the evening while going home we decided to charge the cable, it punctured. So the fault got created. So then there was a question mark कि अभी आज अगर इसको रिपेयर नहीं किया तो कल प्लांट विल बी शट एंड एवरीथिंग विल शाउट कि मेंटेनेंस वालों ने काम सब बिगाड़ दिया एंड देयर विल बी अ लॉस ऑफ प्रोडक्शन एंड इन इंडस्ट्री लॉस ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इज समथिंग treated as biggest crime. तो अगर आपकी वजह से प्रोडक्शन लॉस होता है तो then you are really big crime. तो प्रॉब्लम आ गया है.
Hello, hello, Sunil sir. Hello,
हेलो
Sunil sir. Your voice is
Hello.
again breaking, sir.
अरे क्या करना चाहिए
सर एक काम करता येईल का?
हाँ
ठीक आहे, सध्या तर आता जर समजा पुन्हा प्रॉब्लेम येत असेल, सो वी विल ट्राय टू कनेक्ट यू अगेन. आपण तुम्हाला पुन्हा कनेक्ट करण्याचा प्रयत्न करू. सो यू प्लीज कंटिन्यू सर. तुम्ही म्हणजे थर्ड केस स्टडी पासून पुन्हा स्टार्ट करा सर प्लीज.
तरी पूर्ण ऐकून आली का
नाही, थर्ड केस स्टडी चालू केल्यानंतर ब्रेकिंग येत आहे सर थोडंसं.
Feels like it is reported that the voice is breaking. So once again, I will say it will be study happened in Mahindra. So this was transmission assembly plant, and it was on 11 transformer. It was working on a different cable. And along this 30 kV,
हॅलो सुनील सर.
we decided
Hello. सुनील सर. हॅलो
हा.
सर. सर यू
बोला.
प्लीज ट्राय कनेक्टिंग अगेन. सर तुम्ही पुन्हा एकदा कनेक्ट करण्याचा प्रयत्न करा. बिकॉज देर इज इश्यू.
Okay, okay.
तुम्ही एकदा डिस्कनेक्ट करून पुन्हा कनेक्ट करा सर एकदा. Hello. I request all the participants to please stay connected. We have some connectivity problem from the speaker side, so we will resolve it soon. Please stay connected. So participants, please stay connected. We are connecting the speaker soon. Hello, Sunil sir.
Yes,
Now
you
it is
can see
visible,
it.
sir. Yes,
Okay,
now it is visible. You can continue.
okay. So this is the third case study which happened in Mahindra and Mahindra Nagpur. The problem was phase to earth fault in XLPE cable. Now here in the on the screen you can see transmission assembly plant and there was a dedicated transformer 11 kV by 440. It was a different cable earlier, but during 33 kV substation, we decided to install ring main unit, which is known as RMU, and it was to be connected to this plant. So a different cable was to be connected, which was laid earlier 2 years ago. It was already existing in the inside the earth. So it was already underground. It was available, but that was to be connected now. So the cable was already there. The distance between these two plants was 450 meters, around 450 meters, and the cable was already laid about 2 years ago. The cable was already laid, and this was to be connected to transformer now. So when we connected it, we installed the RMU on Sunday when the factory was. We did it, the installation we did during day, and in the evening we wanted to charge the circuit so that next day morning at 7 a.m. the plant starts, the production starts. So we charged the cable with 11 kV, and as soon as we charged the cable, it got punctured and there was a phase to earth fault. So then it was a very big question mark because it is already 6 p.m. in the evening.
I request all the participants to please stay connected.
Hello.
Sir, you are audible.
Okay. So the distance between this substation and the plant was 450 meters. We had installed the RMU and we wanted to charge the cable which was already laid underground 2 years ago. Okay. And we wanted to charge that cable. So we connected it for, we did it on Sunday afternoon, and then in the evening we wanted to charge it. As soon as we charged it, punctured and it developed a earth fault. So it was already 6 p.m. in the evening, and next day the production was started at 7. So we had very little time left, and there was a fault. So we decided what we can do now because cable is only one cable was available there. So we called that unit, which is for testing the cable, underground cables for the faults. How this unit works? It actually gives the voltage in impulses. For example, if the cable is meant for 11 kV, then it will with the dimmer, you can with this dimmer vary the voltage and to the cable in phase. So once you know that phase is fault, then that particular phase only you can inject the voltage, and that voltage can be varied. if you make that voltage so that there is a audible sound, it will create a sound. The cable will create a sound because whenever it gets short circuited with the earth, there will be a sound, and that sound can be noticed by with this gadget, which is for hearing that sound. So this meter will record it, and with this headphone, you can yourself hear the sound. So along this cable, we started giving the voltage in pulses, and we started observing the or noticing the sound along the length of the cable. And then we finally reached in this vehicle parking area. So in this vehicle parking area, somebody had dug it while civil construction. And during that digging, he had punctured the cable. And since the cable was dead already, nothing happened to that person who punctured it, but the cable got punctured and it was not noticed by anybody. So finally, the meter told approximate length, and we got the fault here in the vehicle parking. Then we removed that cable, we dug it further and removed that cable, and then cable jointer was called at 2 a.m. in the morning, and he was available somewhere in the Mahal area. So he was brought from Mahal area to Nagpur, Hingna area with the vehicle, company's vehicle. Then the jointing was done in the night, and we could start the plant without any problem at 8 a.m. in the morning. So 1 hour was lost. 1 hour production was lost because it involved a lot of things. First, the location of the fault, then repairing the fault, and ultimately charging the cable, which was 2 year old. So, but ultimately we could solve it. So that's all. Thank you. Thank you. And
Okay,
if you have any questions, you can ask.
okay. Now I request all the participants to please raise your queries. If you have any questions, I request all the participants to please raise your questions if you have any queries. Okay, sir, there are no queries.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sunil sir. And I really want to say sorry to all our participants because of some connectivity issue. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would like to thank Sunil Mahabal sir for his presentation and sharing his experiences on electric problems related to the electrical distribution system in industries. So now we are at the end of this particular STTP session. Now I request Professor Diksha Khare ma'am to please propose the vote of thanks. Hello, Khare madam. Hello, Khare madam.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am, you are
sir.
audible. Please
Yes.
continue.
It's my honor to propose vote of thanks on this occasion. So, on behalf of Electrical Engineering Department, Guru Nanak Institutions, I express my heartfelt gratitude to the today's eminent speaker, Mahabal sir, ex-Deputy Managing Director, Mahindra and Mahindra Nagpur, for guiding us on the topic faults in industrial distribution system and its diagnosis. Sir has given very informative information and also shared his experiences with us, which will definitely guide us. In these 3 days online STTP on recent trends in electrical power systems organized by Electrical Engineering Department, we also had sessions by Vadnerkar sir and Kankale sir. My sincere thanks to them. I would like to thank convener of this STTP and head of the department, Professor Bombay sir, for organizing it. Thanks for the management of Guru Nanak institutions for supporting us. My sincere thanks to the coordinator, Professor Avinash Velankivar sir, for his efforts in organizing this STTP. Thanks to all the faculty members of Electrical Engineering Department and participants of this STTP for their active participations. Now, by the permission of convener of this STTP, Professor Bombay sir,
Okay,
this
Khare madam, just a
STTP
moment.
is now concluded. हाँ,
Hello,
sir.
Khare madam,
हाँ,
just
sir.
a moment, please.
Okay, sir. हाँ.
I request any of the participants would like to say something on this occasion. Any of the participants would like to say something on this STTP program? Okay, okay, thank you. Khare madam, please continue.
So thank you all, and please fill the feedback link which will be provided to you, and you will be getting your certificates on your registered emails. Thank you.
Thank you, Khare ma'am. Thank you for the vote of thanks speech. All the participants, I will be sharing the feedback link in the WhatsApp group. Okay, you all are supposed to fill the feedback form and you will be getting the certificates. Okay, so thank you, Sunil sir. Thank you for the brilliant speech and a very excellent lecture and sharing your experiences. Thank you, Sunil sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
okay, now with the honor permission from honorable head of the department and all the faculties of electrical engineering department, I declare that this session is now concluded. Okay, thank you
Okay.
everyone for participation. Thank you, sir. Thank you.